Avi Lewis and a lot of other MPs are calling out the Harper Carney libservatives for turning our democratic institutions into badly written political theater. Or should I say banker written political theater? But Avi Lewis is new, and some people aren't sure if they can trust him. So, how about you listen to Elizabeth May?
I decried the Harper administration's use of omnibus budget bills. It was appalling. And then time allocation over and over again, more than any previous government. And then the Liberals under Trudeau promised no more omnibus budget bills and no more time allocation. But now, this administration is not only using omnibus budget bills to hide things that were never mentioned in the budget at all. This moment, right now, is the worst I've seen in 15 years as an MP, with prime ministers going from Stephen Harper to Justin Trudeau and now Mark Carney. I've served in that parliament with all of those governments in majority positions and minority. This is the worst I've ever seen, and I feel that democracy itself is disrespected. Parliament itself is disrespected. And the existence of, reminds me of what the late Jim Travers said once. Some people remember Jim Travers used to be editor of the Ottawa Citizen. He one time said on national CBC radio, you can talk about democracy. You can go to Ottawa. It's basically a democracy theme park. All the buildings are still there. You can tour them, but there's no democracy going on.
Okay, so you think Avi might have a point? That before a new law is put in place that governs all of us, and notably how large corporations shape our nation around us as we live in it, that those laws should have room to breathe, time to air out, and to be exposed to scrutiny, ideally in a minority government, which is actually what we gave them, remember. At least two parties have to agree on whether or not they want to pass a good bill or whether or not they want to pass a bad bill that everyone knows is going to screw over Canadians. But
this is how it works when you have a majority government that thinks it can act with impunity. And it's disrespectful to Parliament for a bill like C-22, for instance, which Jenny has also been studying for a long time, which has been, it's what, a second or third iteration of this legislation. And major concerns have been raised by civil liberties groups, by people that are interested in Canadians' privacy, in a time when we've seen unprecedented leaks of voter information, of personal information, exposing Canadians to more surveillance, including potentially from the United States without intervention of Canadian courts in the negotiation with the Cloud Act. These are massive issues. They're connected to the negotiations around CUSMA. They're connected to our entire relationship to the United States in this high-stakes moment when we've been under attack for this entire administration's life under Donald Trump. And it's not something that you rush through at the end of a session, especially when the government itself recognized the need to make amendments to C-22 just days ago. And those amendments are, I mean, we barely received them, and we know that this bill is being rushed through. So these matters are too consequential, and there's nothing routine or ordinary about this process. And it's part of a pattern with this government. We've seen a single-minded focus on the whole architecture of major projects and how the Carney government thinks it can get them through. And whether it's pesticides and food safety, whether it's Indigenous rights, whether it's all climate policy in Canada, everything can be swept aside with these unprecedented powers. We've never seen powers like this before granted to cabinet. I'm not talking about one piece of legislation. I'm talking about multiple pieces of legislation and a pattern where it appears that corporate lobbyists are writing the laws of Canada. This is not business as usual. These are unprecedented times, and they're unprecedented measures, and they deserve the light of day and of public debate and not to be shoved through at the end of a session.